And a good afternoon, everyone. Marv Albert along with Len Dawson from Shea Stadium in New York as you look at Nick Mickemeyer, the Buffalo Bills, getting set to kick off against the New York Jets. Kurt Sohn and Bruce Hopper are the deep men as Mickemeyer gets ready. The Bills at 4-2 coming in, the Jets at 2-3-1. Following the disastrous start in which they lost their first three, the Jets have turned it around the last 3 weeks. And we're underway. The first-year pro out of Fordham, Kurt Sohn, across the 20-yard line, stopped by backup offensive lineman Jim Richards.
I'd say that Joe Klecko is out there performing as he did a week ago. He is hurt. Here's the offensive line, the wide receivers, Butler, Lewis, and Bramer, and Frank Lewis having a fine year. The offensive line, as we said, number 73, John Borchardt, is playing in place of the injured Reggie McKenzie. He'll be operated on. Defense going to have their hands full today, and you're taking a look at that defensive line, Gastineau, Salam, Lyons, and Klecko. Remember, Joe Klecko has been hurt. Linebackers, Buttle, Blinka, and Mel. Defensive backs, Holmes, Dykes, Ray, and Schroy. Is not happy with the way things are going right now. The one play that he threw to Butler here a little while ago, he thought perhaps there was interference on the play, but the officials didn't see it.
Couple of weeks, and this one called on the offense.
You're being kind when you say highly. They led the league in the first couple of weeks of the season with penalties. Cincinnati in the first quarter, a 27-yard field goal by Jim Breach ahead of Pittsburgh, 3-0. That's a big game in the Central Division. This is a big game in the Eastern Division for both of these football teams. Buffalo just a half a game back with Miami.
3rd and 15 back at the 40. Just under 3 left in the first quarter. Look out! Here's Lyons chasing, and it's intercepted! Great coverage! His first interception of the season, and the pass rush made that possible.
I'm sure what Buttle's probably saying now to his coach Baker over there is I'll have to be working on my running next week. We've established the fact that I can catch the football. Big turnover for the New York Jets.
Buttle returned at 21 yards. Jets first.
The fumble recovery.
At the Jet 26-yard line. Cribbs now 5 carries, 47 yards. Curtis Brown, the fullback, with a straight-ahead move, stopped by the combination of Klecko and Mel. 5 minutes have gone by in the second quarter, and the Jets with a 6-0 lead. And you were talking earlier about the tightly bunched-up divisional race. New York Jets right in it, along with the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo in front with the divisional record of 4-1.
Talking about how important this game is for both teams, I would say in particular the New York Jets.
Did well to fall in, but the Buffalo Bills take over now at the Jet 36-yard line. This is Joe Cribbs. Several changes of direction, and let's see what happens here. Nowhere.
Lance Mel did a great job of making sure Cribbs didn't get to the outside, made him change his direction once again, enabling the rest of the pursuit to catch up. Now take a look. He is quick, but this time I think he made a mistake. See Buttle being hit from behind. Now he's reversing his field. The only one back there is Ferguson, his quarterback, and I'll assure you the quarterback isn't going to give you a whole lot of help. But you see that the Jets are just containing him now, keeping inside. Mel finally coming up with a tackle.
They're calling it 2nd and 21. Matt Leahy, who kicked 2 field goals in the first half for the Jets points, teeing it up. outscored 63-15 in the third quarter.
Well, they're giving the ball to the Buffalo Bills, and they probably will get the ball in pretty good field position.
Out of bounds. Free kick, 5-yard penalty.
30-yard line now. He'll tee it up from there. That wind is blowing. He wants to probably keep that ball low if he possibly can, but the problem being when you kick the ball low, it gets to the receiver in a hurry. And it doesn't. You take a look at the flag blowing, and it'll stop, it'll change directions, it'll swirl around in this stadium, and it is really tough when you're handling that football.
Not a haven for quarterbacks. Shea Stadium in New York has provided many a problem from Len Dawson right on.
And you know who it affects more than quarterbacks? Kickers, that's for sure.
All right, the kickoff by Leahy. This is Franklin. Byron Franklin out to the 20. Oh, beautiful return to the 29-yard line. Al Washington, the rookie out of Ohio State, making the tackle. A 32-yard kickoff return by Franklin.
And that was an excellent return because he got hit about 10 yards before he finally went down, providing really pretty good field position for the Buffalo Bills.
Joe Ferguson, 7 for 15 to this point, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 intercept. Thus far, Jerry Butler has been held in check. And a look at the offensive line, the big change.
Very good because it was a zone defense, and what Frank Lewis did, he went out to the sideline and turned upfield, and Ferguson drilled it in between 2 defensive players. Now here's the front 4 of the Jets. They're leading the league in sacks with 25. Buttle, Blinka, and Mel, the linebackers. Holmes, Dykes, Ray, and Troy are in the secondary.
And Walt Michaels has made one adjustment. He has replaced Blinka with Ron Crosby as we open up here in this third quarter. Joe Cribbs across the 45-yard line. 34-yard pass play from Ferguson to Lewis, putting the Bills in excellent position. Gastineau and Salam combined on the tackle. Interesting drill the Jets put Abdul Salam through during the course of the week to go against the tactics of Conrad Dobler. They had Joe Pellegrini, who's on injured reserve, surprise Salam in one of the practice sessions by using what the Jets call Dobler tactics. Cribbs again. Short pickup for the second-year man out of Auburn.
Conrad Dobler, he should love that because the more time they can devote worrying about him, the less time they have to worry about, Ferguson and the running backs, Cribbs and Frank Lewis, Jerry Butler.
You think Pellegrini was pinching and scratching?
I don't know whether Salam had any teeth marks on him.
It is a 3rd and 4 for Buffalo. For early third quarter, the Bills 7 and the Jets 6. Ferguson off the play action. He's got the first down with the tight end Kramer. Fumble on the play. And recovered by the Jets. Everyone stopped. I guess Kramer thought the play was over. So the Jets will take over when we come back.
Taking a look at that replay, and you're taking a look at Buttle, number 51. He makes the tackle. The ball is loose, and Buttle grabs him. See right there, he will not permit him to get to the football. Shea coming up with it, a big play for the Jets.
John Woodring hitting him down. Well, next Thursday, Bob Hope presents a star-studded celebration at the Gerald Ford Presidential Museum with special performances by Carl Bailey, Debbie Boone, Colton McRae, Glenn Campbell, and Danny Thomas. It is a 2-hour spectacular next Thursday right here on NBC.
New York Jet crowd getting fired up now after that last touchdown by Bruce Harper.
Buffalo 1st and 10 at their 28-yard line. Play action for Ferguson. Let's see if they ruled it complete and a fumble. No, it's ruled incomplete. A hard hit by Crosby on Mark Kramer.
He really did. He nailed it just as the ball was getting there. Ferguson had a lot of time to throw the football on that last play because they're really not getting a lot of pressure on sacks for the New York Jets with 8. He's leading the National Football League, but he's got a bad foot, and that is hampering him today because he's not getting the drive off that foot that he ordinarily would.
Last week against New England, Flecko would come up with a sack and then come limping away. In fact, left the ballpark on crutches and in a cast, and only practiced briefly one time this week. 2nd and 10. This is Curtis Brown. Look out. Martin Lyons with the reps around Brown.
They're fired up now, the New York Jets, the fans and the players. You can look at 73 is Joe Klecko, the man I was just telling you about, with a bad foot. It didn't look like that he had too bad a foot there. Lions, number 93 coming up with the tackle on that play. He is really fired. Take a look at him right now and see if he's fired.
It is a 3rd and 15 for the Bills, back at their 23-yard line. Ferguson is 9 for 18. Meadow deflected it away, and the Bills forced the punt. It was intended for Frank Lewis. And the crowd is sky high. Mark Gastineau, who has been quiet to this point, he has been in the habit of revving the crowd up, and he's doing it now at the far side. 3 weeks, there was that one overtime tie in there against the Miami Dolphins. They come off a victory over the Patriots. Buffalo Bills with a record of 4 up and 2 down. They come off the win over Miami on Monday night. Good kick by Leahy, and Franklin is going to try to run it out. Byron Franklin really ripped inside the 10. I don't know, Len, what do you think?
I think it was a terrible move on his part. Not only was he in the end zone, but when he started, he slipped. It gave the defense more time to get down under the kick, and they really nailed it. They nailed him inside the 10-yard line. And I might bring back the fact that at one time Buffalo started on their own 5-yard line, and they carried the ball 95 yards in the opposite direction for a touchdown.
Number 52, the rookie out of Ohio State, has been superb on special teams. Al Washington, a 4th-round draft pick, with that hard hit on Franklin. Joe Ferguson, 11 of 23 thus far, 214 yards. First down at the 8. On the draw, does not work for Roosevelt Leaks. Marty Lyons and Joe Klecko were right there. So as we approach the 1-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter, let's check in with Bryant Gumbel.
Marvin, Baltimore, the Colts are in the process of losing their 6th straight. This time the Chargers are doing the damage. Dan Fouts to Charlie Joyner, 23 yards. San Diego moves in front 20-7. Fouts 16th touchdown pass of the year. Best arm since Lenny Dawson, Marv.
Ryan's saying such nice things about the Purdue Boilermaker in our broadcast booth.
Number 73 is Joe Klecko. Gets the tackle, but number 93, Marty Lyons, is the man that first got to the ball carrier.
2nd and 11, and Ferguson rifles one, incomplete. The Jets playing very physical. Darrell Ray that time with the hard hit on the tight end Mark Kramer, who has taken his licks here this afternoon.
Well, when things go right, they have get a lucky break like the Jets did. Things can get turned around in a hurry. They picked up that ball. That's a gift. Bobby Jones picking it up, running at 59 yards for a touchdown, putting it ahead by 13 points after Buffalo had just come back. Now that really fires up the defensive team because they know now they've got a little pad out there. They've got a 13-point lead right now. They don't have to worry about making mistakes. They can just dig in out there and tee off and go after Joe Ferguson.
4 receivers for the Bills on this 3rd and 11. Ferguson with the protection and able to get it downfield, but it is incomplete. Byron Franklin, the intended receiver. Again, the Jets were looking for a recovery, which might be asking a bit too much, but it's incomplete. And so the Jets have stopped the Bills, who are hemmed in right from the start.
Taking a look at it, he's going deep. The ball is hanging up there because of the wind. Almost coming up with the catch, the Buffalo Bills, but he is hit just as the ball gets to him. Without hit possession.
Ferguson is now 15 of 32, 250 yards. As you see with the 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception by Greg Buttle. And Ferguson is sacked. So that's the first Jet sack of the day. Combination of Quicko and Salam.
They've had more heat on Ferguson, I think, in the last 3 or 4 plays than they have in the entire football game. One reason is the defensive line does not have to worry about a running game. They know that they're ahead. They know that Buffalo, in order to catch up, is going to have to throw the ball, so they just start digging in on that turf out there and going after the quarterback.
Joe Quicko coming in, leading the National Football League with 8 sacks. In his 5th year out of Temple, combining that time with Abdul Salam, only the 4th time that the Buffalo offensive line has allowed a sack this season. And it's intercepted! With a Jets pick off another Ferguson pass. Johnny Lynn with the pass intended for Frank Lewis, able to come up with his 3rd of the year.
Frank Lewis, number 82, is the intended receivers. You take a look at both receivers working downfield. Number 29, Johnny Lynn, reads the throw all the way, comes up with a big interception. We'll be back in just a minute.
So Johnny Lynn, who came up with the clincher, picking one off against New England last week in the final seconds with his 3rd interception.